Okay, so I remember just to drill the cha-cha part, I would loop a song, just a 7, 8, and 1 on repeat, and I would like walk forward. 7, 8, and 1. 7, 8, and 1. And then I would repeat the same thing but going back. So it'd be 3, 4 in, 3, 4 in, 3, 4 in. This was back there in July, and then I would do it all together with the basic, just to drill it together. That's how I kind of got it to work. Okay, so that's the movement. Um, so for the side basic, we're just gonna break down the footwork. So essentially, it's just your basic. I'm gonna put my hands in my pocket. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Or if we're just doing movements, it'd be in place, side, in place, side, in place. Or bring it in, side, in place, bring it in, side, in place. That's the footwork for that. Yeah, cool. So now for the body movement, the first thing that I really want to emphasize are the hips. So for the hips, just going with the same technique. It's going from the ball of your foot, rolling down into kind of like into your heel. Like I was a big pothead when I when I was in college. So what we would do is you would like throw down the joint and then turn it off, right? Using that ball of your foot. Well, if you do that exact same motion and you push down, that's how you activate that hip. So essentially, in its basic form, when you step, activate that hip to come out, and then when you bring it back in place again. And every step, the hip should be moving because you're stepping like that. From the ball going down to the heel and then just repeating. Now, if you want to add a little figure 8, which is kind of what I'm doing to add a little more texture to the movement, all you have to do is instead of stepping straight to the side, like we tend to do, step a little forward and then bring that hip up and then around and then back together. That's how you get that circle motion. So you could get those figure 8s. Yes? And yeah, that's for the hip movement. Cool. So now for the upper body. Remember, kind of like when we go to the gym and we're gonna set up to go to bench press or anything, you retract your scapula, so it's up, back, down, and now you're in like perfect like salsa posture, you could call it. And just naturally, your elbows are gonna be in back, and then you want them to be kind of fixed by your sides, and then bring your hands by your nipples, and then this is where you're gonna get that nice salsa frame. Yes, just doing your basic, and your hands are kind of just waving up and down. Now when we step, it's the same salsa movement, right? So where our weight is where our torso is gonna be, and then we roll our shoulder. So remember, the torso leads and then the shoulder rolls, and that's for every step. So when we go 1, my torso's towards the right, my right shoulder rolls back. 2, my torso goes towards the left, my left shoulder rolls back, and then 3, it comes back together. And when you were keeping that scapula retracted, it's not gonna feel like so much your shoulder is moving, right? It's gonna feel more like, because you're retracting your scapula, so your shoulder blades are pinched. They should feel like this pinch motion, and your scapula should be moving. That's what you should feel. Yes? And you want to keep that with your hips. So really being grounded and pushing into the floor. That's going to give the overall like flavor of the movement. Yes. So a nice little accent you could add to the movement is going to be the same thing we use to fancy up our basic in Mambo. we'll use the cha-cha and the mambo legs opening. So those are gonna happen in the kun kun kinky of the song. So that's 8 and 4 in. So if we're just doing simple side to side, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1. So I already have a video breaking down the technique for this. So I'll just be very quick and I'll reference it somewhere in the video. So essentially, 1, 2, 3 for the mambo legs. Keep your level raised by imagining that, keep your level not raised, keep your level straight by imagining that straight line on your foot and just open your legs to maintain your level. And then for the cha-cha, remember, we're not stepping, we're just doing weight transfers of the hips, yes? And you want to do this while maintaining your frame. Don't let your hands fall and keep that scapula retracted so you can look elegant, yes? All right, cool. So now I'm going to play a song at pretty slow tempo, and I'm going to do all 3 variations for you. From this angle and also just standing from the side so you can see the figure 8 a little better. And yeah. So the first is a simple basic, just focusing on normal body movement. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Figure 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Accents. 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7. 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7. 8 and 1. From the side, basic. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Figure 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Accents. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3. So I just said it was slow music. Hopefully you got a nice picture of like all the accents and how we can, guess, interpret the music better when you hear certain instruments like the kunku and the kinky. Also, a little pro tip is those don't have to happen on, it doesn't have to be cha-cha on 8 end and the mambo legs on 4 end. Usually in most salsa songs, you might not hear the kinky, but you'll hear the kun, kun. If you just hear that kun, let's say that kun happens on the 8, then that's usually when you want to accent it using the mambo legs. So just switch around. So it'll be 8 and 1, 2, 3, and then you'll usually hear the opposite on the 4 end, which will be the kinky. And then you want to accent that with the cha-cha. Yes, that's how your musicality could be better expressed with music. And your girl will think you look good, okay? Now I'll break down some like partner work application. All right, cool. So I currently use this move in two methods, depending on my follows level. Yes? So she's very beginner. The easiest way I like to use this move is simply in close position. And what you're just gonna do is a normal side basic. Yes? Especially since they're beginner, don't add all that cha-cha and the mambo legs. Maybe you could add it once. Yes? Just to like surprise them. But definitely don't keep doing it, because at least from my personal experience, at least for a beginner, you want to make them like want to dance with you. And if you throw them too much, I've literally had times when I did too much to a beginner and she would say, "You're too advanced for me," and leave me on the dance floor. and you don't want that shit to happen to you. So learn from my mistake and just keep it very simple with a beginner. And the best way is just do it in close position because you could control their body better. And the counts are the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And here you could really accent those figure eights if you want. And a little cool thing you could do are level changes. So when you step your twos and your sixes, instead of just keeping it upright with your partner, you can drop. And that drop is made from that bend of that two. If you see right here, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And with my neck, I usually just like look towards the way that I'm bending, just to add a little more texture to the movement. Remember, just to keep a smile on your face. And if she's very beginner or even advanced, sometimes I do it with advanced follows. It's very fun. Now for like a more advanced follow, follow that understands like hand throws and shit like that. What you can do is you give them a crossbody lead, and then you give them a open not open break. You give them a left turn, yes, but in place, not traveling. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. She's turning, right? You're gonna step your 5, and then on that 6, you're gonna throw their hand. Yes, and you're already doing a side step. 6, and her hand is gonna swoop around. Then when you step that 7, as their hand is swooping around, because they know that you're either gonna grab it or you're gonna flick it behind her back. Yes. So as you bring it back in and you're going towards that 1, quickly move your legs together and go 8 in. That's usually when I do the wah, like the wah or the mambo legs, right? 8 and 1. Then I grab their hand on that 2, throw it behind their back, step my 3. Yo, you do this shit right here. You bring your legs together. Look, you do that sweat wipe I taught you. You put it on your head, keeping your frame with your elbow in. You just look down at your bicep, and then you do the cha-cha, king, right? Yo, you do that, I promise you'll get the Instagram. You do that right there, because remember, she's like this. Like her hand's behind her back, and you're holding her other hand because you just tossed the other one. So she has no option but to look at you, right? So it's, like really when you do this kinky, really dig into those hips. Make it very emphasized. And you have a lot of time. Well, not really. Yeah, you don't really have a lot of time depending on the song. If it's slow, you got some time, but if it's fast, kinky, and you really want to do it on the sound. This is where timing is really important because 2, 3, you're gonna usually hear it in the song. You want to do this move when you hear the accents in the song. Don't just do it to do it. That's a little pro tip. If you really want it to hit, you want to know that on that forehand, that kinky is gonna happen. You do kinky, and then you grab her partner. You grab her hand again. And then you could either just give her like a simple crossbody lead and then go back into normal position, or you could get creative with it. I'll film a video doing it with my partner if I can't find one right now, and I'll show you with an actual partner so you can understand it better. But yeah, those are the 2 ways I use it in partner. All right, cool. So those are all the applications and the counts with the body movement to the movement. The last thing are 3 drills I want to give you that will help you learn this quicker. So the way at least I learn quicker is by just isolating the pain points and then putting them together in the whole move. Yes? So a big pain point, like I mentioned in my story in the beginning of the video, was the mambo leg. And you're doing it, just know where you're coming from. You're coming from the side here, right? You're not doing it from the basic, which is like moving. So all you really want to drill is just stepping to the side and then opening up. Stepping to the side and opening up. You could either A, do it to chord beats on a song, any song at normal speed, and then just speeding that up. Or what I like to do is just loop through the 2 to the 5 on a song, and then just let it repeat and just keep hitting that over and over again. So do that for the mambo legs, and then the same thing, but now with the cha-cha. You could get used to doing the cha-cha. So that's the second drill. And then the third drill is just putting it all together, right? So just do that consistently every day. I mean, that's at least what I did. You don't have to do it every day. Well, the truth is, like, especially for dance, it's really just consistency and frequency over length of your training. So if you do it like every day for like 10, 20 minutes, you'll gain a lot quicker results than the guy who does it for 2 hours one day out of the week. Yes? And yeah, that's it for the that's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Especially for this one. A few things before I go for like mistakes is make sure that for example, when you do your wah-wah, that your legs close before you step out, or else you kind of do this. I did this a lot when I started. And a good mental note in my head when I'm doing it, not in front of a mirror, is I like to feel that my knees actually touch. Or I usually practice in shorts. So since I practice in shorts, I can hear my thighs clap. So as long as so if I'm not wearing shorts and I'm at a social, I'm obviously not gonna hear my thighs clap, but I can feel my knees touch. So make sure you either feel your knees touch or your thighs clap before you open to the side to make sure that your mambo leg is fully finished and not half-assed. And for the cha-cha, really dig into your heels, not so much your toes. If you dig into your heels, you really emphasize that hip coming out more. And it'll be a really nice mental indicator for you to realize that you're just not like shaking your torso, which is something I'm guilty of myself sometimes, even right now. And you're really just using your hips. So yeah, those are my like last few pro tips. Thank you for watching. And remember, the mirror is a liar, so please record yourself. Later.